One of the plaques you'll come to find on your walk to the South End is the Boston Floating Hospital for Children plaque that's located on the side of the entrance to the hospital next to Tufts Medical Center. According to the Floating Hospital's website, the Children's Hospital was pioneered health care for pediatric patients for years. Just like the plaque says, Reverend Rufus B. Tobey established the ship in 1894, years after he modeled the world's first floating hospital, the Emma Abbott, in New York City in 1875. After this, an onshore facility was built for research and clinical specialties. 34 years later, the floating hospital merged with Tufts Medical Center and eventually became part of the Tufts Medical Center complex in 1982. If you keep walking down the street, you'll come to an intersection that leads to a bridge to cross the highway. We kept walking straight and crossed the first road after the bridge and found our second plaque. It's located right outside of a Silver Line stop. Next to the map of the T was a mini history lesson called Past Nearby. It reads as follows. The images in the medallions are items from the past that an archaeologist may find by digging under the surface of Washington Street. Many might have been dropped and become buried underneath the street. These items could be underfoot. Our past nearby left by those who passed nearby. In the plaque, you see pictures of the city of Boston, you see pictures of a work blueprint, the theater program cover, a menu cover, a hotel woodlock, a collection of tea tokens, and paving stones. All of these are things that people might have left nearby, and they're all things that you can find while you walk down Washington Street.
Here in South End, we have the lovely Joe Wex Dog Recreation Space. In honor of Joe Wex, this beautiful dog park was built. Yeah, I went inside this thing. The reason I know about this is I had to like walk the way. Oh, I think there's a plaque right there.
Oh, there totally is. Yeah, perfect.
Woo! Woo! Look, I be riding through my old hood, but I'm in my new whip. Same old attitude, but I'm on that new shit. They say they gon' ride me, see me never do, cause they know that's the reason they gon' end up on the news clip. Audemars on my wrist, bust down.
A central foundation to Boston's South End, the Cathedral of the Holy Cross was completed in 1875. Designed by Patrick C. Keeley, a famous architect and devout Catholic, the cathedral is dedicated to John J. Williams, Boston's first archbishop. With the sharp rise of population Boston experienced in the mid-19th century, due in part to Irish immigrants fleeing famine, the Cathedral of the Holy Cross was born out of necessity. Housing over 1,700 people, saying the cathedral is large is an understatement. Its extensive collection of stained glass is magnificent to behold, and is believed to have been imported from Germany during the construction process.
Color cop, we in the building. Y'all are not. You showing the paper, you gon' ball or not. I'm a boss.
Not far from the Cathedral of the Holy Cross is a unique monument. Recently built only 2 years ago, this monument honors Puerto Rican veterans. It depicts two soldiers, one male and one female, in an engraving reading La Libertad no es gratis, or freedom is not free. There are many features to this monument, such as a plaque written entirely in Spanish, names of Puerto Rican soldiers engraved in the ground, and American and Puerto Rican flags. The story of the creation of this beautiful monument is one of hard work and dedication. It took 15 years before the monument was constructed, the idea being pushed heavily by several local veterans. The veterans secured the land from the city and spent more than a decade raising more than $100,000 to pay for the monument's construction.
I totally understand this one.
The monument is a first of its kind, as it is the first public memorial in the nation honoring Puerto Rican veterans. Over 100 people were in attendance for the unveiling of the monument, including many veterans.
Ricky Waters better run that dope back, boss. And I put that on my Maybach. 400,000, you wish you saved that.
Walk further down Washington Street into the heart of Boston's South End neighborhood, and you will come across Blackstone and Franklin Squares. The two squares are divided by Washington Street. Charles Bulfinch, who initiated the plan for the South End in 1801, originally intended the two squares to be a single residential park called Columbia Square. Franklin Square was completed in 1849, and Blackstone Square followed in 1855. The Olmsted brothers created improvement plans for both squares in 1913, maintaining the original diagonal paths but adding trees and two smaller walks. The squares feature identical central fountains. Let's go take a look at them now.
The gang got the hood on fire. I'm a king. Call me sire. You say I don't run my city, you a motherfucker. I'm a boss.